They dipped down and performed a rotor wash, which seemed deliberate. They flew off, destroying a lot of the staging area and harming the people directly below them in the staging area. I was conducting a K9 security sweep across the parking
What's
lot.
a rotor wash?
When they come down too close and the wind from their rotors wash everything away.
Okay.
So really, did they take the people who were local PD came in, and we've been trying to track their flight info to find out who they are and where they flew in from. Nothing. They're ghosts.
Hilarious. So previously, this is how far down America has fallen. Previously, black helicopters would be seen because someone found a crashed UFO. And now you see them to destroy your relief supplies. That's when you see them.
Listen to this, Kurt. 40 minutes prior to this, 2 unmarked black SUVs running blue lights rolled in, circled around, and immediately left. They were not local LE. What is LE? Law enforcement, and not anyone we had been affiliated with.
This happened in Lahaina. This exact thing. This was in Lahaina. I remember this vividly. The weird black SUVs that are not associated with anyone. Does anybody else remember this? I remember it.
And so let's see if they show us the look. That's what happened. Do you see all that stuff flying everywhere? You think those you think you could be trained to fly a helicopter and you don't know that's going to happen? Of course they knew that was going to happen. They did it on purpose.
That's even a question? Wait, you think that's even a question?
Right.
What do you mean? Like, you think anyone's questioning this was done on purpose?
So the question is, who were they and why did they do this?
They're called the Illuminati. It's a real thing.
For those in my previous video saying I am spreading lies, this is the reality and what is happening in areas all over North Carolina. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. Well, guess what? They admitted it. North Carolina National Guard. The North Carolina National Guard is aware of an incident involving an NC North Carolina National Guard UH-60 Blackhawk helicopter during a delivery of a generator. They say that helicopter was delivering generators.
It was not delivering
if you were delivering generators, they would be hanging from the bottom of the helicopter.
Also, it's not a National Guard helicopter because those say National Guard on the side of them. They're not unmarked in black and can't be traced. They're not saying it's theirs. They're saying they're aware of an incident
involved.
So they're not claiming the helicopter.
So it said at the request of local civilian organization to power their distribution outpost in western North Carolina. Continue reading below.
Okay.
So they're aware of it. This is exciting news, and I think we can all rest assured now that something will be done about it. So this never happens again, right? Because they're aware of it. Oh, and by the way, if you believe that they're going to do something about it, I have a vaccine I'd like to sell you. Here's read below. So we're going to read below. While attempting to land, rotor wash caused items to blow away from. They're trying to land in the middle of a. Why would they land?
Say swamp gas. Say it was just swamp gas, and there wasn't even a helicopter. That's what they should do.
The crew immediately identified the situation, aborted the landing for safety reasons, and departed the area. Why would you depart the area? Why wouldn't you just go to a place where isn't anything and land? Why would you try to land in the middle of a distribution center? Why would you just take off? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go to a cleared area and land?
Because it's not with the National Guard. They made this up after the fact. That's why.
This incident, Kurt, is currently under investigation, and the crew has been grounded until the investigation is complete. The NCNG is working with the identified local civilian organization to assess the level of damage caused by the rotor wash.
What organization? Identified by who? They haven't said what it's called.
There's more to this. And I'm sure the investigation team is going to enter it with no bias whatsoever. But then again, I'm also sure Tim Waltz knows how to fix a truck.
Really can change an air filter, if you know what I mean.
Safety is the North Carolina National Guard's #1 priority, especially with the high volume of air operations currently happening across the region. While the North Carolina National Guard strives for precision, that looked very precise. They strive for precision in every mission. Sometimes things don't go as planned. When that happens, the North Carolina National Guard takes it very seriously and are committed to addressing and correcting any issues to prevent future occurrences.
Okay, start marking your cars and helicopters then, if that was yours, because I don't believe it was theirs. Black helicopters and black unmarked SUVs. So that was that was in the Hawaii National Guard. No one knew who it was. All those black SUVs parked. Remember that?
Here, I think I can summarize what they're trying to say here. Motherfucking video shit. I think that's what they're trying to say. So here's what some people on Twitter said about it. Please don't insult the American people's intelligence after your airmen did this. Do not add insult to injury. This was deliberate, not an attempt to land. Care to comment on why the transponder was turned off prior to just attempting to land? Can you show the paper trail of the generators you were delivering?
Or a generator in the video.
Or a generator. Anyone who's worked in aviation for a minute wouldn't agree with you. You turned off your transponder. There was no landing area or ground crew. The statement comes too late. Also, nothing in your response seems remotely believable. The optics make it look intentionally done.
The optics? You mean the thing that happened in front of my face in that video?
Yes. Seems like a qualified pilot and crew would know not to try and land on top of easy up canopies, boxes of supplies, vehicles, and people. You guys seriously going to try and tell us they were trying to land to drop off supplies and didn't see there was no spot to land? Has anyone else noticed that our government repeatedly uses "sorry, we were so stupid" as an excuse? No one is this stupid. It's intentional. This is what people are saying on Twitter.
Is anybody noticing that there's a black helicopter? It doesn't say National Guard on it, the kind that you often hear about in conspiracy theories, because it's unmarked, because it's for special access programs and not for the National Guard. It's the National Guard has marked equipment. That's not the National Guard.
Here's another one, Kurt. Here's another one. I reached out to the North Carolina National Guard regarding a separate incident involving a Chinook helicopter. Still waiting for a response. And according to my source, the rotor wash caused $100,000 in damage and sent 3 recovery workers to the hospital. One ended up in crutches. Now, I can't verify any of this. This is what I've seen on Twitter, but it seems consistent with what we're hearing. Now, let's watch. So he's doing another rotor wash. It's a Chinook. Hey, it's just my job to fly this massive helicopter. I had no idea. What, it makes wind?
Look, it's deliberate. What does everybody think it's an accident? It's deliberate. We all know it's deliberate. Does everybody not know it's deliberate? Then you're an idiot. If
So-
you don't know that this was deliberate, you're a moron.
Sandy
That's just a
Dufresne
fact.
says there were no generators hanging from that Blackhawk. I'm calling BS on this fabrication. Ghost of Sun Tzu says, I know Blackhawks, and no crew chief would allow a few, all that would fit, generators inside the crew compartment. They would have been in a sling load, and that helicopter didn't have a sling load. You're 100% full of it.
Yeah, no kidding.
No,
Well,
yeah.
this doesn't make any sense. The National Guard thing. I still don't understand. Nobody's mentioning it. That's not the National. I'll tell you what it is. It's like how, remember the Trump Secret Service detail were not Secret Service agents. They were from the DHS
Yeah.
on loan. They were loan outs. I promise those are probably private contractors of some kind.
Okay, over to Steph.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. All right, here we go. The helicopter was found. No punctuation, really. Thank you for the link. Much appreciated. Could someone start a GoFundMe to put this commercial in the Super Bowl? Eric. If you want to know what the trans movement is about, just look up the Gem Hadar, pronounced with short A's. Thank you, Vienticus Prime.
Hey,
Prime.
real quick.
Hey, real quick. Go ahead.
AP fact check says posts falsely claim Hurricane Helene geoengineered to expand lithium mining. So that's how you know that's what it's about. The thing they're saying it's not about.
It's not about.
That's what it's about. 100%, it's about lithium mining. That's why we pay the Taliban in Afghanistan in the lithium triangle. That's why we left all that equipment there as a payment for them for lithium. And also, we train new terrorists in Afghanistan now. Just want to make that clear.
And those were a moment with Kurt. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Nike doesn't give a shit about women or men. They care about money only. We are not flies. Thank you. Yeah, they have slave labor, like was mentioned earlier. Okay. Oh, here we go. Super chats. Hobo Jesus. Thank you, Hobo Jesus. I like Ron White too, but he once said on the Joe Rogan show he wanted to punch people in the face if they didn't wear a mask during COVID, similar to Jesse Ventura. Wilford Sports.
Ron does not know any better. Look.
He doesn't know any better.
I have definitely ribbed him about. I didn't know he said that, but I've 100% given him a good ribbing about his, like, he's Democrat, whatever. He doesn't know anything. He hangs out with famous people and goes golfing. He doesn't know anything. Believe me, I pipe right up at him. Ron's a good guy, very funny guy. A lot of people don't know shit. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. SS, sports are not a huge priority when the elites are trying to unalive the global useless class. SS.
Yeah, that's right. Female athletes are part of that class, by the way.
So after years of being mocked for being transphobic, only after you start losing to the same women, I was mocked for not accepting. Now you know there's two genders and there's no differences. Shut up. Blanco SoCal. The best part of Northampton show was the look on the faces of the Smith College students who were working the lobby. Some seriously unhappy folks. Chris, that's funny. Maybe we can take men out of women's sports when the girls are gone from the Boy Scouts. P. Walker. Hey,
no, don't put your kid in Boy Scouts. Do not put your kids in the Boy Scouts. Don't put any child of any gender, of any 384 genders, in the Boy Scouts. You are insane if you do that.
Hey, Jimmy, my aunt got her California mail-in ballot yesterday. So did I. She's not a citizen, and I'm not registered. It's been happening for years. I emailed you a picture. Jerry, thank you. Somebody just talked to us right now, too, about registering online. So I tried to register online, just going through it. I didn't do it. And they asked for your driver's license number or your California driver's ID and the last four digits of your social security number. And then they said, there was a place that said, and if you don't have a social security number, how do you not have a social security number? I don't understand that part. What?
Because you're not from here? Because you're not from here?
Right. So then how can you register?
My girlfriend got two ballots sent to her, and her name spelled slightly different. Okay? So that kind of mistake is they're hoping that she's Democrat and I can vote twice. Because do you think Democrats wouldn't do that, seeing how they hate Trump? You're seeing what they're willing to do because they hate Trump, right? You think they're not willing to do every little cheat? The whole idea of, like, how could you think there would be fraud in an election? Well, wouldn't you do it if you knew it would beat Trump? Yeah, you would. So shut the fuck up.
So I know the other day I went to our mailbox and I was like, a ballot? Why am I getting a ballot? And it wasn't my ballot. It was somebody else's ballot. I've never had that mistake made before. I returned it to the proper people. I've been on 2 different locations of HARP in Alaska and see the size and mass of that constructed. You won't have any doubt of the ability to manipulate, not just weather. Hold on.
Oh, listen, you should have Eric Hecker on, Jimmy, my friend Eric, the guy who worked in for Raytheon in Antarctica. He's going on other shows talking about it, and I don't know why people are dismissing him. He's not talking about UFOs. He's talking about a real thing that they've had for quite some time. There are treaties, so we're actually violating treaties that 99% of us didn't even know they had about weather weapons.
Right.
That's why they're not worried about nukes, by the way, because that's probably old hat. They got all kinds of awful things. And it's not just us that has this stuff. A bunch of people have them.
We need to learn the lessons and move on instead of continuing to rehash same themes for emotional effect. Elites are moving much faster than us. Focus on what's important. SS. Agreed. Fix the Rumble. Ty, thank you. Playing the new Diablo expansion pretty good. Kurt, you like Diablo?
Warhammer 40,000.
Okay.
Warhammer 40,000. Give him Space Marine 2.
So guess what? I got an email from NBC News. Brandy Zadrozny, senior reporter. They're all senior. That's the big joke at the Daily Show. They say everybody was a senior reporter. Hello, hi, Mr. DORE. I'm a reporter with NBC News. We're publishing a story looking at Russian disinformation and how it works. To show the heights to which some narratives have spread, we dive into a false Russian-planted story that claimed Tucker Carlson had been the target of a Ukraine-ordered assassination attempt, reaching out for comment since we include you as one of the influential sharers of this false story.
Is that a Ukrainian name at the end of this broad's name?
You tell me. My deadline
so
is
she's an operative.
So my deadline is tomorrow at October 9th at 5 p.m.
Hey, Ukraine already murdered one American citizen that we know of.
That's
Why
right.
wouldn't they try to kill Tucker? Look what they did
So
to
this is
a guy I didn't even like.
So this story on pro-Russian disinformation is called war propaganda. This is to keep the war going because Americans are souring on the Ukraine war. So I wrote back, Dear Brandy, thank you for including me in your latest pro-war propaganda piece intended to keep the war in Ukraine going along with the slaughter of its people. If you bothered to watch the video, you would know we reported it as potentially being a hoax and wondered why the mainstream media wasn't busy debunking it. We said this in the video.
Yeah.
We also said the only conclusive statement we could say about this story was that a native of Podolsk was being detained under suspicion of planning a terrorist attack. Has NBC ever reported that the CIA teamed up with the Nazis to overthrow the democratically elected president of Ukraine, which then led directly to the start of the U.S. proxy war in Ukraine?
I promise you she works for their intelligence agency. That's a Ukrainian name.
Has NBC News ever apologized for smearing journalist Gonzalo Lira while he was being tortured and killed by the Ukrainian government in a Ukraine prison for doing journalism? Has NBC News ever apologized for spreading the Russiagate conspiracy theory invented by the Clinton campaign and the intelligence community that directly led up to the American people embracing the U.S. proxy war with Russia and Ukraine? Has NBC News ever apologized for spreading the misinformation surrounding the conspiracy theory that Russia was putting bounties on American soldiers in Afghanistan? Has NBC News ever apologized for spreading misinformation by repeating the conspiracy theory about the Syrian gas attacks being committed by Assad after it was debunked by the OPCW whistleblowers? I could go on, but I have to get back to debunking the latest pro-war propaganda by NBC News, and I'm on deadline. Good luck pushing pro-war propaganda for a living and whitewashing the latest genocide being funded and enabled by the United States in Gaza. Maybe someday you'll have a hard time looking in the mirror and you'll resign like William Arkin over your network's warmongering propaganda. So this was one of their biggest war reporters at NBC. He famously quit, and he said, of course, Trump is an ignorant and incompetent imposter, and yet I'm alarmed at how quick NBC is to mechanically argue the contrary, to be in favor of policies that just spell more conflict and more war.
By the way, don't even call Trump that.
So
even
this
if he is, they are that. They're incompetent, ignorant, and this chick is an agent. What is their thing called? ZBD or DBZ?
I don't know.
What's Ukraine's bullshit three-letter agency?
So this was, he was on a video of in Democracy Now! Longtime reporter leaves NBC saying media is the Trump circus that encourages perpetual war. And then I linked to the video. I sent the video. There it is. Sincerely, Jimmy DORE. So this is how war propaganda works. And that person, as Kurt points out, I wonder if that person
at least change your obvious Ukrainian name, okay, to be a fake journalist doing a fake story. At least change the name.
See if Brandy Zadrozny on Twitter. Zadrozny on Twitter. See what her Twitter bio says she is.
There's no way that's a real reporter. It's somebody's intel agent, 100%. They have them planted all over the media, especially at NBC News.
Especially at NBC News are the biggest, most blatant warmongers.
So all I got from this is that they definitely tried to kill Tucker. That's what we can discern from what this dingbat wrote to you, scumbag.
It just says she's a senior reporter at NBC News.
Yeah, it's not. It's a fake. It's all. It's a Drozny. Fuck you.
She looks young and fun.
Oh, here it is. Comes right up. I don't know. I think there's a good chance she's an American.
Yeah, it's still an agent. It's still an asset.
She lists her. She has a New York phone number. She lists her phone number on her Twitter, which is weird, wild. But a lot of journalists do that. They have a special phone number for tips.
Oh, this chick.
Yeah,
she sucks. We've shown her a bunch of times. The one looks like Edgar Winter. You know, the
so she's
albino.
big. She's big on the January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
She's all the bad things about the corporate pro-war bought by the big pharma, Wall Street, and the military-industrial complex. That's what that is. Oh, I wish I would have.
Hey, Brandy, I bet you're an MK Monarch asset. An albino like you. That's what they look for.
It looks like here.
She
what do
specializes.
I have? Glenn Greenwald had pointed her out in 2021 and said, "I've written before about one particularly toxic strain of this authoritarian reporting. Teams of journalists, such as the three most influential corporate media outlets, CNN media reporters Brian Stelter, Oliver Darcy, Disinformation Space Unit, Ben Collins, Brandy Zadrozny."
Oh, really? So Glenn Greenwald called her out 2 years ago?
In 2021.
We
February.
showed her on your show, Jimmy. We've had clips of this. I made fun of what an albino she is. I remember this vividly. It says she's an investigative journalist who specializes in political radicalization, extremism, and disinformation on the internet. So that means
anybody who specializes in...
She's an operative. She is an operative and not a journalist. She's an operative. Okay, she specializes.
Well, we know that NBC News has Ken Delaney, or is it CNN?
I think it's NBC. Ken
Look, all the news.
Look, Ken Delaney works directly for the CIA. He's been outed for working for the CIA. He got fired from the LA Times because they caught him working for the CIA, and then NBC News hired him, and he's on air.
Yeah. I like that she's a CIA spook and she looks like a ghost. That's pretty cool. Creepy albino bitch.
NBC News author Ken Delaney. NBC's national security reporter.
Yes.
Ken Delaney.
So NBC News is full of CIA agents, and she's one of them. So hey, look, I got an email from a CIA person from NBC News. Isn't that nice?
I just want to tell you the title of his article that he had. The journalistic tattletale and censorship industry suffers several well-deserved blows. And this was talking about Taylor Lorenz as well.
Okay, and he's talking about, that's Glenn Greenwald talking about Brandy Zadrozny.
No, we know Taylor's not an agent of anything. She's just a moron.
Yeah,
this chick is definitely working for, like, you know. This is what is it? Project Mockingbird, whatever they call it now.
I think it was
Project Albino Bird.
It used to be called Mockingbird, but anyway. So, by the way, Kurt, makes me feel good. Corporate media hasn't mentioned me in a while and tried to slander me, and I started to think, like, am I not getting the job done anymore? Well, apparently, they still need to try to take us down.
If only you'd taken that Bohemian Grove invite, Jimmy.
I know. All right, over to stuff.
Okay. I emailed you that article because I think you're going to really like it, by the way. Okay.
Thank you.
Here we go. Sparky, make Ukraine Russia again. Don't even leave a patch called Ukraine, lest it remains a NATO playground, carpetbaggers' money laundry, and becomes BlackRock property. Thank you, Sparky. All right, let's go over here. Super chatters. Today's CNN exclusive CIA struggles with its own #MeToo moment as allegations of sexual assault spill into the open. Pay CNN to read, not that open. Savage. How feminism enabled transgenderism is by pushing the notion that our biological differences are unimportant. Because of that, the essence of womanhood becomes less valued than what's on the surface. ... Has anyone heard anything about the journalist Jeremy Lafredo being kidnapped by Israel and abused?
Yes, yes.
You're covering that today?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you, Brian. I don't go for the no chicken foot shenanigans, entertainment speculation. Hey, Jimmy, I'm a journalist in the Army, National Guard, who has released part 3 of a documentary about East Palestine. Part 4 and Part 5 exposes what the whole derailment was about the rare earth and minerals underneath the town. Joaquin Dante. Joaquin. Okay, so where'd you release it? Where'd you release this? Joaquin? All right, listen, Joaquin. Go contact me at info@jimmydorecomedy.com, info@jimmydorecomedy.com. Right in the subject line, Joaquin Dante must speak with Steph, all right? Because I want to I want to find out about your documentary. Very interesting.
By the way, one thing, Brandy Zadrozny has a whole bunch of articles about how the satanic panic is back and QAnon. So guess what that means? She's a lizard person and a generational Satanist. That's all you got to do is take the nonsense. The thing they're saying isn't true that you didn't even hear before. Then it's true. They're getting out ahead of it every single time.
It's so disturbing. It's so disturbing. It's so crazy. It's hard to believe, but I get you. Can't vote red if you're dead. Our country is gone. Conspicmum? We have arrived at that type of special historical moment in the United States where a society either undergoes transformative change or collapses. We move forward or we perish. Faith and solidarity. Reverend Edmund Bolela. Maui was not hit by wildfire. Obviously, Taliban. Hobo Jesus. Sparky, love right back. Can you talk about the fires in eastern Wyoming? Another land grab for minerals. Unvaccinated guy. Welcome back, amigo. Does Jimmy watch Professor Bart K. channel on YouTube, Gritty Image Photography? I don't think so. Jimmy, does that sound familiar, Professor Bart K?
No.
Okay. I guess we should check it out. Jimmy, Steph, Kurt, what are the chances you think they'll dump Harris and replace her with Waltz at this point? Paper junk. Not going to happen. I give it 0%. Unvaccinated guy. Was the tranny blown before or after the fender bender with the gender bender? A lot of benders in that one. Unvaccinated guy. Thank you very much. All right, let me refresh. And I think after this story, we're going to go to Rumble.
Okay, come to me.
Back to Jimmy.
Kamala Harris is doing the hard-hitting interviews. She went on Howard Stern. Howard Stern, who is not even a shadow of his former self. He's the inverse of his former self. He's like having Howdy Doody host a radio show. So let's watch this.
When you ran for Senate, it was bittersweet, right? You won, which is great.
It was bittersweet. No, Howard, it was Cool Ranch. Anyway, here we go.
But you said I ate a whole bag of Doritos that night. That's your thing, Doritos?
Oh, I love Doritos. It's original nacho, but let me just tell you, it was a family-sized bag.
Wow.
Boy, that proves she's just like us. She eats Doritos. She's just like us. Isn't that something? And by the way, no adult finishes a complete family-sized bag of Doritos unless something has gone horribly wrong in their life.
Well, she won a Senate campaign. This is like that Simpsons where there was a Howard Stern, like a cartoon Simpsons Howard Stern interviewing Mr. Burns. And Mr. Burns goes, "Okay, I know you're tough. Ask me anything you want about my legendary love of cashews." That's literally Howard Stern is a Simpsons parody, except the Simpsons parody made fart sounds over him when he started talking, which is what Howard should have done.
Let's watch it all. I'll give you, it's a minute and 17 seconds. Let's watch it all the way through.
Best
when you ran for Senate, it was bittersweet, right? You won,
Yeah.
which is great. But you said I ate a whole bag of Doritos that night. That's your thing, Doritos?
Oh, I love Doritos. It's original nacho, but let me just tell you, it was a family-sized bag.
Wow.
I sat on the couch.
But you're in good shape. Were you like
I work
nausea?
out every morning.
Did you work out this morning?
I did.
Where did you work out?
On the elliptical at the hotel.
Oh, they bring one up to your room?
Yeah.
Nice. How long do you go on the elliptical?
Half an hour to 45 minutes.
You're not bored out of your skull on that thing?
I'm watching a variety of things. That's how I catch
Morning
up.
Joe?
Yeah.
He's
sometimes.
something, huh?
Yeah.
That Morning
Something.
Joe.
Uh-huh.
I love that guy.
I do too.
He loves Morning
Just
Joe.
Barbara. Yeah.
A former Republican.
Yes.
He can't vote in his own
But
party.
he loves our country. I don't
He-
agree with him
he
on every
does.
issue, but we
She was
agree on-
like stumped when he asked, "What do you watch?" Did you notice? I watch some things.
Oh,
She was stumped. She didn't know what
Well,
she was
probably
going to talk
watches
about.
a reel of flashing red and green programming lights, is what I imagine.
I think the most important at this moment for sure.
Why are you eating for breakfast Raisin Bran? I read. I feel that's not for someone who's healthy.
Be careful. You're eating Raisin Bran. You're already so full of shit. I'm just warning you. You don't need any more bran.
Why Raisin Bran? There's a lot of sugar.
Well, no. So I don't eat Raisin Bran every morning. But
Okay.
if you asked me what was my favorite cereal, I would put it right up there with, okay, now this is going to be obnoxious, and Special K.
Special K is.
Oh, Special K. You mean K for Kamala. What isn't about you? Honestly, why don't you just sprinkle some sugar on yourself, pour a bathtub full of milk, and then eat yourself?
Well, it's really great.
It's really great. I want to see her. I want to see
When
her
you ran
stumble.
for Senate, it
wanna
was
see her
bittersweet,
stumble.
right? You won,
Yeah.
which is great. But you said I ate a whole bag of Doritos that night.
Wait,
That's your thing,
wait.
Doritos?
Oh,
That's
I love
bittersweet. Oh, okay. I won the race, but here's the downside, Jimmy. I ate a whole bag of Dorito. What?
What?
What on earth is he talking about?
Doritos, original nacho. But let me just tell you, it was a family-sized bag.
Wow.
I sat on the couch.
But you're in good shape. Are you like
I work out
nausea?
every morning.
Did you work out this morning?
I did.
Where did you work
Is this
out?
an ad?
On the elliptical at the hotel.
Oh, they bring one up to your room?
Yeah.
Nice. How long do you go on the elliptical?
Half an hour to 45 minutes.
You're not bored out of your skull on that thing?
I'm watching a variety of things. That's how I catch
Morning
up.
Joe?
So, yeah.
He's something, huh?
sometimes, yeah.
That Morning Joe.
Uh-huh.
I love that.
He's something, huh? That Morning Joe. What? How about that Bull Connor, huh? I love that. Oh my God. What is so? Maddox Sports says he's on the Diddy freak off party list. He's doing his best to stay out of jail. That's
Howard's
why
a germaphobe.
I wouldn't doubt at all.
You don't think Howard's at the Diddy party going, what? I'm leaving. No one's wearing a mask.
I'm not. So here's what I said. Howard Stern is the thing he used to make fun of. You wouldn't have to change a word of that interview if you were doing a sketch to make fun of how lame he's become. It's stunning. Those are like, if I was going to write a comedy sketch about how lame he would interview her, those are the things I would write for him to say. That's what Mike McRae would write for. That's what Kurt would write. That's it. But no one has to write it for him. He's that lame. He's a walking comedy sketch. And if there's anyone who still listens to Howard Stern, how lame are you?
No one does, Jimmy. It's a pyramid scheme with satellite radio. It's like the only thing keeping it afloat. Rogan told me how it works. The satellite.
How does it
people
work?
Aren't listening.
How
It's
does it
some
work?
kind of thing where it's like automatically installed in cars or something. Dude, he doesn't really have the listeners anymore.
Who listens to
Doesn't.
satellite radio in their car? Everybody just has their phone.
There's
And it
some kind of
Bluetooths right to their
scam.
thing.
I know. I don't remember the specifics, but there's some kind of pyramid scheme scam that's keeping it afloat. Okay. And so look, you could see it's a thing no one would want to watch. This is like something that I wouldn't even put on. Like, I'd rather see Mario Lopez in my hotel room telling me about fun stuff to
Right.
do on the digital.
Who would
ordering
watch
screen.
this? Who would
one
listen
does.
to this?
No one. No one does. It's like Morning Joe. They all just watch each other. And I don't even think they watch each other. I think it's all just a lie.
I'm not exaggerating when I said that Howard Stern did more interesting interviews with that Beetlejuice character.
Yeah, Beetlejuice was.
And by the way, Beetlejuice could eat a whole bag of Doritos.
and he could make it interesting.
The irony is, this is the most coherent Kamala Harris has ever been. This is the kind of level of questions that
She
she
answered the questions.
keep it about Doritos and cereal, and she answers the questions. She's now like an episode of Seinfeld, and she's a candidate about nothing.
Yeah, Seinfeld cares about cereal in his comedy. I mean, in fairness, he does comedy, but this is like, I want to do a candidate about nothing. That's the
Yes.
whole.
So here's what some Stranger by the Hour podcast says. Fact check. Story is missing context. If a woman her size ate a family-sized bag of nacho Doritos in one sitting, she would shit her pants 3/4 of the way through the bag. This detail was omitted. She probably did. She probably did shit herself, but Howard Stern's not going to ask her that tough question.
Yeah, it's more of a 60 Minutes thing.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, oh, we're gonna get to that in a second.
Do you think they had to edit anything out of this interview?
So
When she does eat Raisin Bran?
yeah. So here's Howard Stern. They tweet this out, and they block replies.
Well, that's how you know it's a hot one. Oh,
They block
1,000 likes.
replies. They block replies.
Almost 200,000 views and almost 2,000 likes.
And here's Howard Stern subconsciously warning us with a hand signal that Kamala Harris is going to lose. That's what that is. And by the way, I think that the next time they do an interview, they should trade wigs.
Howard's got the same Jerry curl from Pulp Fiction that Samuel L. Jackson had.
There's no way that's his hair, and he's wearing a wig. And that, I'd wear a wig if I had to.
This is like Roald Dahl's The Witches, like that when
There's
starring Angelica Houston. He looks like Angelica Houston is a witch.
So there's no difference between this and the mid-2000s Don Imus. Hey, maybe he's wearing the same wig that Imus used to wear. You ever think of that?
I think he is.
And Imus honestly was way better than this.
And it wasn't that good.
And it wasn't that good, no, but it was still way better than this.
Rob Bartlett did some good voices on it.
I can't believe people listen to that. I never listened to Howard Stern, ever.
Oh, it used to be great. When I was doing construction, we would listen to it, and it used to be the most fun show, dude. It was insane. We did Holly Weird Squares. We got Gary the R Word, 2 porn stars. The God
he would have
hates
2
F
porn
slurs
stars
people.
on, and they would refer to them as the whores.
Well, they were whores.
They would have 2 porn stars on, and they would refer to them as the whores. They had
They were less big of whores as Kamala.
They had
I think Doritos is a ad. I think she's doing an ad.
They had a
I think that is
KKK guy in the center square. Remember that? They used to have a
Daniel
KKK.
Carver, and he sounded better on camera than Kamala.
They had the black guy from the sales department, and Gilbert Gottfried.
And the King of All Blacks, Gary the R Word. It was an amazing show, and
They had a character on
yeah.
there, and his name was Gary the R Word. But he was actually mentally handicapped, right?
yeah,
And they called him,
was
but they didn't.
inclusive,
They didn't
but-
call him the R Word. They used the word.
I know. I really, if I was just talking, I'm going to be honest. I would just use the word. I'm as far as all the sensitive
Yeah.
I don't believe in climate change, sensitive language. All these things were lies. And watching this Howard Stern thing, I don't know how that doesn't tell everybody that everything is a sham around you. Just that alone. Asking Kamala Harris about if she eat Doritos. Howard Stern said he read about her that she likes Raisin Bran. How did you manage to Google her or whatever you did?
And
First
that's
of all, he
what
didn't
came
read
up.
anything. Yeah, he didn't read anything.
Do you know scientists now believe, Kurt, that if Stern keeps producing nothing interviews like this, that he's actually on the verge of discovering antimatter?
He's a lizard person. They've had the technology for thousands of years.
Howard Stern, when he drooled over Joe Biden,
Mhm.
I didn't think he could sink lower. This is even worse.
Okay, Marcy Turk showed up. That's his handler. Her name is Marcy Turk. Already talked about it. Everybody talked about it. All of a sudden, Howard was a completely different guy one day. Howard got onto that show, right? And he had to change his image, and he had a handler. I'm going to help you.
Oh, you
change
mean
your
he
image."
got onto America Loves Talent or whatever, America's Talent?
Yeah, America loves trafficking children, and he now he's a different guy.
And now
He's like
now Hillary
a pod
Clinton.
person.
Now people like the vice president feel comfortable going on that show. His show became famous because he would have women doing. He would have prostitutes doing hot dog swallowing contests.
Dude, when you go, now he's the thing he made fun of. I'm like, what? He's a middle-aged ex-porn star in a blue wig sitting on this Sibian? Like,
Yeah.
that's what they would sit on a dildo machine in studio. It's not, look, if Hillary Clinton can go on your show, you have a lame-ass show. That's a fact.
Yeah.
You know, you could still have a cool show if Trump goes on it, or if really anybody, Bernie could go on your show, all kinds of people. But if Hillary's willing to show up at your show, you're a part of the problem. She ain't going to show up otherwise.
I never liked Howard Stern. I'm very proud of myself on that. I never liked him. Never liked him.
Well, if
So-
you don't got to hang sheetrock and listen to something during those hours, then why would you bother?
Yeah.
I don't. Once I didn't have a car anymore, then that's when I stopped listening to radio. I would be on radio, but I wasn't driving anywhere. So why would I be listening to it? Sitting in traffic, wanting to run somebody down because you're sitting there angry like everybody is. It's the perfect kind of. That's the perfect thing.
All right. Let's go to. We're gonna go to Rumble now. And remember, if you want to see the show uninterrupted, without commercials, you go to jimmydore.com, become a member at $10 a month, and it gets you the show media gets put up after the show gets put up in its entirety. You don't have to wait for the clips to come out. A lot of times we don't drop the clips. We cut up the you don't. A lot of times we cut up stuff and you don't get to see it. So become a member at jimmydore.com. You get access to the Jimmy Dore app, the Jimmy Dore Show app. You also get, which I'm going to start posting at. I got to start posting at there. I should post something every morning. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that. And so go to jimmydore.com and you'll get access to tickets first. By the way, what's that? We have members only shows that we do. We do premium streamiums. So are the tickets up for our show November 1st and November 8th? Are they available to everybody or just? Okay, so for the first 3 days, members got the tickets. Now there's tickets available for everybody. November 1st and 8th, we're going to be doing a live Jimmy Dore Rumble Time show at the Two Roads Theater in Studio City. So